What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Garrett. I'm a seven-figure Amazon seller showing you guys how you can make a living off Amazon as well. We have a good video for you guys today. We're going to be looking into Smart Scout as a means, as a tool to do brand outreach research. How to use Smart Scout to construct brand leads lists, to deduct which brands to reach out to, which brands are best to skip over, and also how to use the data that Smart Scout provides to increase the conversion of our messaging, to increase the convincing nature, the power of our outreach, of our messaging to these brands and their sales reps. So a lot to come in today's video. Make sure you get your notepad out and enjoy. Cool. So in this video, we're going to use Smart Scout to really work through the initial qualification process when it comes to creating brand leads lists and ultimately reaching out to those brands in efforts to open up accounts. And so the way we like to really organize our outreach when it comes to brand direct is batch it by either niche or category, and that allows us to be very specific and customized when it pertains to that niche, right? So for example, if we are reaching out to a bunch of camping brands, camping related brands in that niche, we're going to use a template that's related to camping. Maybe we're going to adhere our website to camping. Maybe we're going to name drop camping brands that we already work with. Maybe we are going to name drop specific products that we carry that do really, really well for us, right? It really pays dividends to be very specific and surgical when we are doing our outreach, and we're going to conduct our qualification process to administer and to adhere to that sort of process, right? So as you can imagine, we are going to use this category filter to, and so again, just taking a step back, this is going to be the brands tool in Smart Scout. What this does is it accumulates brand data, right? So we can see itemized by brand, and it gives all sorts of information that's very, very helpful when it comes to qualifying brand X versus brand Y, right? We can set parameters in terms of the sort of brand that we want to be reaching out to, and we can use that to really create a brand list of warm brands that are going to convert better. So moving forward, right, going back to our categories filter, using the camping approach, we can filter our results to sports and outdoors, right? We'll start there. What that's going to do is Smart Scout is going to bring back 64,000 brands, not products, brands in the Amazon catalog that fall under the sports and outdoors category. We're going to also want to do something else, a couple of things, right? Using the rest of these filters up top. Amazon in stock rate. Obviously, we're going to want to avoid Amazon, right? But it's also a relative approach, right? All listings are going to sell differently. All listings are going to sell with different relative velocity. And so to not completely eliminate the opportunities where Amazon can be in or off a product and we can still have success there, we're going to set the maximum Amazon in stock rate to about 50%. Keep in mind that if Amazon's in stock 50%, the other 50% would have to sell a good bit to be able to justify us going into that brand, right? So we're going to set a very conservative 50% to really not not eliminate any good opportunities. Average number of sellers, we're going to try and eliminate any private label opportunities, right? We don't want to be reaching out to products that only are sold by either the brand or a couple other sellers that have exclusives. So we're going to set a minimum of 3 on this average number of sellers. You could also use the FBA sellers, but we just use the number of sellers. We personally use a prep center, right? So that team obviously does all our prep for a fee. And so because that happens, we are pretty restricted in terms of small and light and like smaller dollar amounts, right? Because smaller sales values profit less, and because the prep fee obviously eats some of that. We're going to set a minimum of $15. You don't have to if you do. Hey, quick commercial break. I appreciate you guys supporting and following the channel. If you are enjoying this particular video, which I'm assuming you are if you're still watching it to this point, make sure you subscribe to the channel, scroll down, hit that subscribe button. Helps me out, helps the channel out. Let's get back to the content. Your own in-house prep, small and light, may be a good opportunity for you. Continuing on, average review rating, we set a minimum of 3. And so what this does is, keep in mind, wholesale, naturally, you're just going to kind of go deeper on different products and different brands, right? And so because we're probably going to be going deeper on products, we want those products to be quality products that produce a good customer experience, right? The better customer experience, the less likely it is for you to get a negative review, negative feedback, returns. All those things are related and embedded into the quality customer product, the quality product that the customer gets. And so because we're really geared towards providing a good customer experience, providing good products, we want to only be really taking in part or partnering with products and brands that are well reviewed. And so we're going to use our 3-star rating to filter those brands. Continuing on, so we'll actually see what results are provided with this, right? So we still have 3,000 brands that are left in our results, but you see an issue, right? The first brand is Yeti. There's also a couple other big ones, obviously Stanley Fitbit. Some of these brands are likely not going to be approachable for us. And so in order to restrict the brands, right, we're looking for the small to medium-sized brands that have a couple sellers, maybe 8, 9, 10 sellers, but are small enough where they're not going to kind of turn their heads on us, right? So we're going to use this monthly revenue filter, which is very, very useful, something that Keeper Product Finder does not allow us to use. And this is completely dependent on the results, right? So we're going to start at about 750,000. That's a 500. 750,000. And we'll see what that drills us down to. Probably 2,700 left. And off the bat, we see we eliminated a lot of the major brands. And so we did our job with that particular filter. The last piece of the puzzle is over here sitting at the right. This is actually going to be very interesting, right? The dominant seller, you could see that in the little pop-up box, estimated that this seller does more than 60% of the sales. Now, there's a couple ways you could approach this, but from our perspective, and you can see as we kind of work our way down, Tifosi, dominant seller, the brand is Tifosi. Arcturus Camo, the brand is Arcturus. Amazon, Flishfly-opedia, well, that's not them, but you see what's going on. A lot of the times where there's a dominant seller that populates in this field, it coincides with that particular brand, right? It makes sense. That seller owns a lot of their market share, and so to avoid either Amazon or brands selling their own products, right? Sea Eagle Boats, Sea Eagle, we're just going to filter on the blanks, right? So this filter, we click the drop down, hit the blanks, and now we are left with a subset. Don't hit search again because that's going to eliminate that filter that we just hit. Now we're going to be left with a subset of 2,000 brands. Lots of work for you to do, lots of outreach. Where there is no dominant seller, and it adheres to all these categories, all these filters. Now we can take it a step further, right? We led into this video talking about how we want to be very specific. So we could use this primary subcategory to accomplish just that. If we hit the contains and we do camping, now we're going to be really drilling into, there's really only 13 here, brands that are left. Let's see if we can change this a bit, see what that is. So, of course, it starts with 13. So let's actually drill into, so these are 13 brands that are probably very, very warm. We could also start to tinker with this. Maybe we take out this monthly revenue and see what this does for us. Of course, once we eliminate the monthly revenue, then we have to refilter on our camping, and also eliminate dominant sellers. So 14, we only gained 1, right? So maybe we're too specific in some of our criteria. Maybe we want to get rid of the seller price. But these are 13 brands that you can dig into, right? Now, we want to be as precise with our, right? And so there's a lot of other, obviously, information. Jetboil is interesting, 10,000 units sold. We can see a lot of information in terms of ASP, average in-stock rate of Amazon. There should be, of course, average number of FBA sellers. We have a lot of information at our disposal, namely the monthly units estimate. Obviously, that's going to be a velocity metric. Now, if we wanted to reach out to Jetboil, there's a couple other things that we can do before, to get ready for our outreach, right? We can go into the dashboard, and we can essentially, if you want, you can take a screenshot, and this is going to be a very official, professional-looking dashboard. You can really take a screenshot of this and include it in your initial outreach. You can even say, I construct a dashboard of researching your brand, just a lot of the information, and just however you want to spice it up in your initial outreach. You could even take a screenshot of this and include it in your outreach. They probably have never seen this information. They probably didn't know that they are selling about $800,000 on Amazon, ASP, all this stuff. They probably don't know. There's also some good information down here, and you can drill into it more in the search terms, in terms of what search criteria, in terms of volume, their products are subjected to. Right? Camping stove is the biggest search term that their products are targeting. All this information they likely didn't know, and all this information they would probably be impressed if you supplied it to them. Also, you can look up sellers. You can look up all the sellers that are already selling Jetboil. This can open up more brands, maybe that you didn't know, that you didn't hear of, that you haven't noticed. You could also look up other, obviously, subcategories, all the search terms. You can look up a bunch of different stuff, and obviously, of course, all the different products within Jetboil, and you can click and navigate to their Amazon information pretty efficiently. But this is really how you're going to construct, using Smart Scout, your brand approach, starting with, again, the initial qualification in regards to a specific niche or category, and use all of this information to refine your approach to certain brands, and make that approach as powerful, as convincing as possible. That's going to be it for today's video, my friends. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one.